Hello and welcome back to another episode of Media Munchers. I'm Mathian,
And I'm Adrian.
and today we got a little quiz to start out with. I got from whatculture.com the ultimate Fast and Furious quiz. Ready for this, Big Apple?
Oh, I'm ready.
As most people know, this franchise has gone back since like what 2001, I think was when the first one came out.
Yeah,
And somewhere around that time, and it's got billions of dollars in box office revenue, and I mean, it's kept ludicrous relevant. So it's a good franchise. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. Big Apple, riddle me this: what were the family stealing in the first movie? Was it TV and video equipment, drugs, jewelry, or game consoles?
Wasn't it game consoles?
Well, let's see. I honestly don't even know what the hell they were stealing.
Stealing oil.
Were they?
At one point.
You know what? It doesn't even tell you the end. All right, I guess we're just gonna power through them and see how we did. In Fast Five, how much money do the family plot to steal from the Reyes? I remember it being a lot. So they have 10, 50, 100, or 200 million. 200 million?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't there? Is this the one where they took a bank vault in Brazil and like drove it through the street?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, a bank holds a lot of money. Like a vault.
It was a pretty big vault.
200 mil? All right, let's see how we do later. Which of these musicians hasn't made a cameo in the series? Quo? I don't know how to say that. Rita Ora, Ja Rule, or Iggy Azalea? Has Iggy Azalea been in any of the Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah. Actually, I think she was in the last one, if I'm not mistaken.
Sheesh. Okay, has Ja Rule been in any of the Fast and Furious movies?
To be honest, I don't know what he looks like.
Hold on, let me ask you.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Show me a picture of Ja Rule. Has this guy made an appearance in any of the Fast and Furious movies?
No, not that I remember.
I'm gonna go with Ja Rule. All right. How did Dom and Mia's dad die? Was it a police raid, an overdose, a botched heist, or I get cop vibes from the dad?
Why? So the original stories were about racing. So I think maybe
I do remember that.
Racing accident.
Okay, we'll go with the racing accident. Your guess is probably more. All right, let's go with that. I just feel like, it's so long ago. We need to do like a marathon at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Which iconic location is the car driven through in Fast and Furious 7? Mount Rushmore, the Chrysler Building, the Kremlin, or the Etihad Towers? Pretty sure 7's the one in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Or at least they make an appearance there. So I'm going to go with the Arabic sounding towers. The Etihad Towers.
Yeah.
Number 6. At the end of Fast and Furious, how many years in prison is Dom sentenced to? 10, 25, 30, or 50? What a specific question.
Right?
I'm going to go with 25 to life is pretty common, right? As a sentence.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, I don't know, 20.
It would be that corny, wouldn't it?
Yeah. This is a pretty corny series. All right, Big A. What is the name of Deckard Shaw's sister? Is it Lottie, Hattie, Dottie, or Jane? What's up with the Addies? I feel like it's one of those.
I feel like I've heard him say Dottie.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Dottie. Let's see what they tell us after. In Tokyo Drift, where does Sean live before being sent to Tokyo? Mississippi. I bet it's Mississippi. California, Arizona, or New York? It's either. I feel like he's a Southern boy. Look at this photo. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's a Southern boy.
Yeah, he's pretty Southern. Yeah, I remember him being.
Didn't he have a drawl? Yeah, he had like a little drawl.
Like a fish out of water.
Okay, so Mississippi. He doesn't look like an Arizonan to me. Let's see what else we got here. Which organization did Agent Hobbs work for? Department of Homeland Security, Interpol, Department of Defense, or Diplomatic Security Service? I feel like, do they use real services names in these franchises? I feel like they don't.
I feel like at the time they might have.
Maybe.
Because it was
early on.
Yeah, it wasn't far into the camp yet.
Okay, Department of Homeland Security, Interpol, Department of Defense. I think DOD, Department of Defense. I would think
That sounds kind of right. I don't know what they do, but
they are a department that defends us.
sure.
That's what they're supposed to do.
What did Brian and Mia name their son?
Was it Paul?
Jack.
Okay, Jack. There you go. No, I like that
I'm pretty
confidence.
sure.
I like that confidence. We're gonna go with Jack.
All right. How many Fast and Furious movies does Vin Diesel not appear in? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Is it?
Nah. I think it's just Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless if you count Tokyo Drift, then just one. No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what if they counted Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna hit the back button, Big A. I can't get that wrong.
When was this quiz made?
Ooh, it was made before the ninth one came out because they preface it by saying,
Okay.
get your Fast and Furious universe in. So it was made before. It was everything leading up to 8. Did Fast 8 come out before or after Hobbs and Shaw? It came out before Hobbs and Shaw, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was 8, then Shaw. 9.
I'm still gonna go with 2. I'm feeling it. All right. What is Dom's favorite beer? Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Corona.
Product placement. It works though.
Yep.
It certainly works. In Fast 5, how many hours does Hobbs give the family to escape? He's a corny guy, so what, 24? It's 18, 24, 48, or more.
Yeah.
It's either 24 or 48.
Probably one day.
Probably a day. Such a corny guy. Have you seen Super Fast, that parody?
No.
Dude, it's hilarious. You should definitely check that one out.
Good. All right. Next question is, what is Brian's undercover alias?
Brian's undercover alias.
So it's three names.
You can see it.
Brian Lee.
Brian Lee?
Lee Allen.
Lee Allen.
Brian Lee Allen. Is that how you pronounce it?
Brian Lee Allen.
Brian Vincent Jones. Brian Mark Sinclair. Or Brian Earl Spencer. I feel like it kind of flows, the Brian Mark Sinclair.
Yeah, I was going to say Sinclair. Immediately I was drawn to. Yeah, do Sinclair. Let's see what that's about.
Do it, Biggie. Do it.
Oh, I didn't answer the same as you, so I don't know.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It doesn't matter. It's not that deep.
All right, 15. What is the name of the central hacking device in Furious 7?
Central hacking device in Furious 7?
That's like the MacGuffin, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. The one that's supposed to.
This is 7, not 8. No, wait. What were they doing in 7?
Before they're doing One Last Ride.
I mean,
No, they were doing I know that all I know is that's the one that Walker's character was. He died, so they wrote him off, right?
Oh, they were after that one girl, right?
Though, is this the introduction of Charlize Theron?
No, that was 8.
That's 8. Okay. Then they were after that dude's brother. Was it Statham in 7? They were after, or was that 6? He came in.
I think that was 6. 6 he came in. No. He was after what they were after. Like they
Oh, they both had mutual goals. Okay, so then they were after some sort of MacGuffin. Is 7 the one with the submarine? It is, right?
No, that's 8.
I can't keep up with this stuff.
7 is the one where Paul Walker runs on the bus and is falling off the cliff.
Oh yeah, damn. So what were they after? And then there was like that.
Well, here I'll
Yeah, yeah, that would help.
definitely help because I just looked at it. The Apple of Eden,
Oh,
Pandora's Box, the Singularity, or God's Eye. They made this really easy. I didn't realize it's the guy.
we're all wrecking our brains. Okay, I'm going with Sinclair. My computer finally caught up. Sinclair. And then, yeah, God's Eye. Yeah, it's definitely God's Eye. Oh, because I could tell from this photo. I remember that little shot they did in LA. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, we got to do it.
That's right. What car is Han driving when he dies in Tokyo Drift?
Sheesh. I feel like
Remember what color was it?
the color of his car.
They don't remember. They don't tell us the color, but I feel like the color would help us remember.
I don't want to cheat and like look it up.
I should know.
I definitely feel like it was either a Mazda or a Supra. You want to flip a coin? Or what do you go with? What are you leaning towards?
Maybe a Supra.
Okay, let's go with the Supra. I'm with you. Let's do it.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I feel like it was perhaps Japanese in nature, but I don't know if that's not cool to assume. In the first film,
Well, they were all driving Japanese cars in that movie.
well, the Dodge Charger was an option on there.
Yeah,
So that's why I didn't go with that.
It was in Tokyo Drift.
It's true. Okay.
Taking that into account.
In the first film, what sandwich does Brian always order from the Toretto Cafe? Wow. I'm gonna go with. What do you think?
Oh, it's the tuna on white.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's supposed to be a bad sandwich or something.
For sure. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Duh. Not the meatball sub. Anyway.
The mother of Dom's son. Which son? The baby on the plane? From Fast 8?
Yes, yeah.
It was.
Did he have another son?
Yes, he had the little baby with the blonde Russian girl, right? I think he only had one kid, right? Dom Toretto, like Vin Diesel.
Oh, she was Russian?
What?
She was
Maybe she's not Russian. No, she was American.
She was American.
Brazilian.
Oh, she was Brazilian. All I know is that she was blonde, she had a pale complexion, and she was short. That's all I remember.
Yeah, she was pretty short.
So what? Giselle or
Elena?
No.
Elena?
Yeah, Elena.
Elena, right?
Yeah, that was.
I think it was Elena. Cause like this came out of nowhere. Like it was like, oh yeah, he's a kid. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Or maybe I just didn't remember them talking about it, but it was like a twist.
Which part of Agent Stasiak? Stasiak?
Oh, maybe that's that. Is it that dude?
What
The
is it?
Eagle of the Living Planet looking guy?
Oh,
Is that not him?
No, he's Mr. Nobody.
Oh, okay. That's right. You're right. He's...
Who is Stacy? Body has Brian broken twice. Oh, the dude that he's punched to get into jail and prior to what is it, in 4 he punched the dude when he was running after somebody.
I would assume the nose then, if you broke it twice.
Yeah.
I mean, just that seems like an easy thing to bust twice. I don't even remember Agent Stasiak. That's sad.
Yeah, he only like popped up. I think maybe.
All right.
He was in 4 and he was in 5.
I really need to rewatch these. I only remember like the big action events and like a couple of small details.
Yeah.
Like anything before 5?
It's been a minute. Okay. I got you because you're good at the specifics. So number 20. What was the number of Dom and Mia's house? 1982, 1327, 1573, or 2120?
I feel like it was a short number.
Okay. All right. Humble. 3 digits. 982. All right. Yeah. We'll go with that. We'll go with that, Big A. Oh my God. I scored 50%. What did you get?
50s.
Only the most hardcore Fast and Furious fans will get anywhere near 100% on this impossible quiz. Well, they didn't advertise it as impossible, but okay, they'll tell you what the right ones were. All right, ready? Number 1, speed run. What were the family stealing? It was actually TV and video equipment. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, in the Fast 5, how much money did they plot to steal from Reyes? 200K. So I was right on that one. I don't know why it said it. Oh, no, I wasn't. It was 100 million. Shit. All right. Which of these musicians hasn't made a cameo? Cisco. Yeah, I don't even know who that is. All right. How did Dom and Mia's dad die? A racing accident. Yeah, good call on that one.
Nice.
All right. And then which iconic location? Yeah, we knew the Etihad Towers. All right. How many years is... Hey, 25. 25 years. He was right on. What is the name of Deckard Shaw's sister? Hattie. Wow. What a British name or whatever. In Tokyo Drift, where does Sean live? Arizona. I knew it was either Mississippi or Arizona. All right. Which organization did Hobbs work for? The DoD? Nope. It was the Diplomatic Security Service. I knew it. I was like, watch it be some corny, non-real service. And sure enough, the DSS. They named their son Jack. Good one. You got that one right out of the bag. How many does Vin not appear in? 2. I was right about that one.
Oh, okay. So they did.
They did count Hobbs and Shaw. Yep. Okay. So what is Dom's favorite beer? Of course, Corona. How many hours does he give to escape? Good call. Just a day. 24 hours. What is his undercover alias? Brian Earl Spindler. Spildner? Spillner. Yeah. Wow.
Generic.
Well, I guess that's the point. What is the name of the central hacking by God's Eye? We knew that. What is he driving? The Mazda.
Okay.
Close. I knew it was between those two. And then in the first film, which sandwich does Brian order? Yep, tuna on white. Elena was the mother of Dom's son. Got that. Broke his nose. That was easy. And then 1327 was the house number of Dom and Mia. Okay. All right.
I wonder if that has any significance, like besides it just being.
That's the number of movies they're gonna make.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. Like, is it gonna come into play later? Honestly, I really feel like whoever made this quiz was just like, let's do something really obscure, and then they was like, what's the house number? Like, but it would be interesting. I don't how would that even play in? You mean
I don't know.
maybe it's like a code for like a briefcase bomb, but it's like a nuke
Yeah.
in fashion. Anyway, that was our ultimate Fast and Furious quiz. We'll be seeing Fast 8 whenever we get around to it. Or 9. We're on 9 now.
Yeah. Man.
Do you think they're gonna go to space in 10? Or are they
I
already?
think they already did.
With a rocket and the trailer, the
Yeah.
rocket car. They better go to space.
I better see him in space. I want to see like who's in the car? Is it Ludacris and
what's his
face?
Tiger Scoopson.
Tyrese Gibson?
Yeah.
He's gonna fly by the ISS and be like, "Oh shit, astronauts!" I don't know. All right. We'll take a brief break and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back, and we're gonna start our review on Superman and Lois episode 8, Holding the Wrench. So the episode opens with Lois in some sort of therapy, I guess, with her psychiatrist, and it's pretty it's pretty foreshadowing for the rest of the episode. She's talking about basically that she said something to someone who she cares about very much, and the show's very cryptic, and like we're not gonna tell you who it is yet, and basically that she feels like she could never come back from this, like she really told someone off, and I was wondering, I was like, okay, so she obviously yelled at someone in the family, but like for what, I was like, is her, relationship with her husband destroyed, or like, what can you really tell your husband? You know what I mean? I was like, what are you gonna tell him? But I was just curious, and so like they dropped that on this, and we get right into the other scene, which is the Man of Steel meeting with Irons in the darkly lit interrogation room, and concluding that he's from a parallel Earth. He talks about John Henry Irons' backstory and how he stole his identity or whatever, and then not too long after that, we have a brief flashback revealing how Irons traveled from one universe to ours using some sort of portal in like a fight with the evil Superman. So I was like, okay, all right. I wonder if that was they never really explained how the worlds collide or what the state of the multiverse is, because even though this is like a shared universe, Superman and Lois is keeping things pretty self-contained. And I wonder that the evil Superman calamity was happening, if that was during the end of Crisis on Infinite Earth, that CW event, and then like his old universe got destroyed, and he was like the only one to escape a dying universe, so to speak, and then he hopped into ours. I just wonder. That's just a passing thought I had, but we cut away to well, what do we come back to? We come back to the interrogation, right? And he pretty much comes clean about everything, how Superman's evil and tried to destroy the Earth, or he did. He joined other Kryptonians and destroyed the Earth. And then he also fought alongside a parallel version of Sam Lane, and how he was married to Lois Lane and all that. All this comes out just as Lois and John are searching through Iron's RV, and they're looking for any kind of clues as to who he's after. And then we learned that Lois is an authorized user, because she probably sounds exactly the same as the other world's Lois. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't really get that.
you didn't know why she was authorized?
Yeah, I was a little confused for a second. I forgot.
Yeah. So she looks and sounds exactly like the other universe's Lois Lane.
That makes sense. Okay.
Right. So yeah. So that explains that. But it's important that she's authorized and she's in there exploring with Jonathan, because as we come to learn later in the episode, like he's not authorized. And he almost loses his life over that.
Right. Yeah.
And so that leads into that whole thing, which we'll get into. But they're looking for clues as to who and what he's really after, and they quickly find that dashboard packed with files about his life, all that good exposition they needed to know to catch them up with what the audience knows. And this includes pictures of John and Lois's daughter, Natalie, and this affects Lois, obviously. That's not revealed why until later in the episode. And then after making Jonathan swear not to continue to search the RV without her, he still heads back into the RV in typical teenage fashion, and to help her cope with things. And then he learns while he's there, before he triggers the RV's defense, he learns about the fact that she is married, or was married, to this alternate universe. Who are we calling him, Irons now, or Luther? Why did they even start with that misdirect? I mean, I'll call him Irons, but or the stranger, whatever. Who is he really? Does he get to make his new identity here?
Well, he does at the end call himself John Henry Irons.
He does at the end. He takes it up. Yeah. Is it because that's who he always was, or that's just who he's choosing to be from now on?
Well, I guess he's just kind of like using it to use it.
Yeah, like fresh start kind of thing. Okay, so Irons, we'll call him Irons. But yeah, he obviously was married to her, and he learns that, and he was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." And it's sweet. He's like, "Oh, it would have been cool to meet you, sister, or whatever." And then while he's there, he triggers that defense, locks down the vehicle, starts the countdown, and ooh, yeah, Lois rushes to the RV. And when she's unable to get inside, she calls Superman in the middle of the interrogations and stuff. And seconds later, he shows up, barely able to save him in time, and they have a big family fight. It's really just between Lois and John, and man, she goes in on him. Like I was like, wow, whoever writes this knows how families fight, because I mean, she was biting into that boy's head, because obviously she doesn't have fear and love and stuff, and yeah, even with that ending, get out of my face, I was like, bro, and even Superman, even like Soups was like, yo, weren't you a little too spicy with that? I'm gonna go check up on him. So I was like, bruh. But it felt deserved. Like I mean, not deserved, but like I understood why it happened in the moment. And it was a great episode in the moment. It was a highlight for me. And so he noticed that, he suggests that, maybe you should go talk to that old psych of yours. And she's like, all right, whatever. So she goes. And they casually drop in that throughout the episode and in therapy that she had a miscarriage shortly after having the boys, and that they were gonna name her Natalie after her grandmother, right? After yeah, after Sam's father, Sam Lane, right? Yeah. So that makes it all the more emotional for her, and the parallels between the two Loises and all that. So they talk about it, some really emotional stuff, some very, very, really great acting from Elizabeth Tulloch. I think that's how you say her last name. But it was a solid episode for her. And then and elsewhere, and more like the B story, it's a lot happier with it's Sarah Cushing, and she's deciding to audition for a High School Musical event. And her dad promises to help her, doesn't end up going through with it because of his job opportunities and his prospects. And so which is kind of cute. Jordan ends up playing, accompanying for her, like, because he used to play piano back in the day. I was like, this is sweet. Like, he's finally getting an episode where nothing goes horribly wrong for him. I'm glad he got a break. But what are your thoughts on this stuff so far?
Yeah, I thought it was nice seeing that B plot. And that
No, it's cool. I going off of what you said, it's a palate cleanser, because instead of Jordan whining like he does every episode about something, he's actually having like a decent go of things, and he's still kind of he's still obviously lying to Sarah, but I mean out of necessity or whatever. And things. Wait, did anything? I know there's a lot going on in the show, and I appreciate how like focused they are on like the big overarching bad and story and all that, with the like small little things here and there.
yeah.
Like that's it. That stuff with Tag is just on the back burner for now, right? Like I was expecting to hear maybe a little bit more about that,
Yeah, I guess so.
but I guess it doesn't tie into more X Kryptonite stuff until later, because they were also dropping throughout this episode sprinkles of what I honestly forget her name, but what's the right hand of Mr.
Oh yes.
Mr. Morgan Edge? His little right hand is it Leslie Lar?
Yeah.
So like she's in meetings recruiting new people to be to be I don't know, injected with X Kryptonite, whatever, to make more soldiers. And in a kind of what's her name again? Lana Lang, right? She's also like on his she's on her tail, like getting at the water cooler or whatever, getting papers from the printer, and like keeping an eye on what she's doing. So they're sprinkling all that C and D plot or whatever, like building more towards the coming mid season or whatever is going on. So there's a lot going on in the episode, and of course, like is it Kyle Cushing, the dad? Yeah, Kyle Cushing is like, all about his ego is like, oh, I want the promotion. Give me the promotion. Notice me, Morgan Edge, please, please, daddy. So that's what's going on. There's a lot cooking in the stew, and things start to get a little spicy when the Henry Irons, right? John Henry Irons is being transported back to his cell after like they don't really get what they want out of interrogation, and one of the soldiers who's escorting him, who gets stopped by another soldier who's trying to interrogate him. That big tall dude's all about interrogation and torture. He turns out to be one of one of Morgan Edge's like soldiers, right, with X Kryptonite, and just like throws him against the wall, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna take you somewhere else. I think he's gonna kill him, or is he gonna recruit him or kill him?
Recruit him.
I think he was gonna recruit him. Yeah, and
I thought it was funny how they played that, like the bigger soldier was supposed to be the dude to beat him up, but then they
switched it up on you. Yeah, you really thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool little turn of pace. But then he's like, "No, we got to make a little pit stop," and they end up going to the 7734 room, the upside down hell room, and that's where all these experimental kryptonite weapons are in, synthetic kryptonite as well. And even Sam is like, I didn't want you to find out about this, but don't go in there, you're gonna die. And Superman goes anyway. I'm like, this guy wants to die, and he goes to stop the soldier, and he even like, I think Lex just, or calling him Lex, but Irons is like, he kind of gets this, like, he gets freed and like he's told to run by Superman. And after like he gets debuffed by some synthetic kryptonite gas and they fight it out. Um, he actually finally gets the best of that soldier, and then Irons is about to kill him with the kryptonite spear, which was like his weapon of choice. He made a note. And then I was like, "Yep, where's Lois? There's Lois." And then she comes in and she's like, "Stop!" And he's really about to kill him. He's really about to do what he thinks is right. And then she like ends up diffusing him, and Lois convinced him that Superman is like good and he's different from the one he knows on his Earth. And Irons finally backs off, and Superman's given time to recover. And so, in talking with Lane, Clark realizes that these superpowered enforcers under Edge's employ may not just be random people granted special abilities; they might actually be hosts for reincarnated people from Krypton. And so, he's building an army of Kryptonians, Morgan Edge. I thought it was interesting how they're reincarnated. Like, I guess that's some science that we're not supposed to understand yet. But I was like, are they just like hanging out in the Kryptonite gems, and then you like rub it on a human, and like, now they're possessed? I was like, what's all that about?
Yeah, that's a little specific, I guess.
It's vague. It's vague because you don't know how they're made. Like there's, I think, the 1 or 2 episodes ago, when they were showing the first of how they're made, they throw them on like a funny MRI looking machine, like I guess with some X kryptonite, and they're like, all right, he's gonna come out stronger. But I don't know how all that works. I wonder how much explanation we're gonna get for that. Probably not much. Probably not. But this prospect of coming war leads to a change in the relationship between Superman and Irons. And after the fight, Irons is freed. He's reunited with his RV. Superman recognizes that he may need help if a war is really coming, and while Irons isn't ready to fight by Superman's side, he understands that he might be an ally. So as the episode comes to a close, Iron drives away to explore the world with a brighter outlook on life. Something I thought they brushed over, because like Superman took the time to come down in costume, and be like, okay, obviously it's implied that's where Lois lives, and then here's the RV, and it's get in you're gonna let me go? Yeah, I'm gonna let you go. Gets in the RV and drives away. I was really expecting them to drop that little hint from earlier. If you remember, Jonathan says his name in the RV when it's about to kill him. He's like, "Oh yeah, Jonathan Kent." I guess if Lois Lane still goes by Lois Lane and not Lois Lane Kent or whatever, if there's no hyphenation, he would have no way to put 2 and 2 together. But I really thought that little supercomputer was gonna rat out that some kid and his name was in the RV snooping around to Irons, but that didn't happen. Now that's not to say it couldn't happen at a later date, but am I too much theory crafting, or you think that could happen, or like you think he's gonna tie the bridge?
How much of a villain do you think he's gonna remain?
I don't think he's gonna be necessarily a villain so much as he's gonna be an anti-hero.
Yeah, the way I saw the ending, he was more leaning towards hero than like anti, almost.
I mean, he definitely wants to do what's good for he wants to do what he thinks is right and perhaps good for the people of an Earth since his is gone. But I think at the end of the day, his main objective, even if it dwindles in prominence, is to keep Superman in check. He wants to be his, kryptonite, for lack of a better analogy. But so I think he's definitely not a bad person. He's definitely gonna lean towards the side of hero, but he's gonna do it his way, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So then I would wonder, like, would that even matter to him?
Maybe not, but valuable information is valuable information. Should he ever draw the connection that Lois is somehow like married or involved with Superman, that gives him all the more reason to, I don't want to say use her as leverage, but he can use that information to his will if he needs to get something or if he needs to talk to Superman. You know what I mean? You can always draw him out if you find Lois, that kind of thing, even if it's not for nefarious reasons.
Yeah. Well, maybe Lois told him, because if they did give him the RV back, then wouldn't they have had to
like fix the door?
repair it or leave it as is, and then he would then find out.
That's a good point. I mean, Superman. I'm sure he could whip up a repair.
I mean, he was repairing the truck in the beginning.
That's true. Yeah, that was really cool. Like it was a little. Oh yeah, it's true. Like it was aluminum foil. Don't think about it too much. We're thinking about it too much. Anyway, overall, it was a really solid episode, and I'm glad we're chugging along. I will say this. In comparison to other CW superhero shows, This has a really unique place because while it's like I said earlier connected, it very much stands on its own. It's not afraid to. It's not worried about tying into anything else. And not that's a bad thing, but furthermore, this show is like it's got that season one focus. It's not worried about like villains of the week or they're trying to like shove crazy like morals down your throat. Like there's definitely like opinions and lessons and political viewpoints in the show, and that's fine. Like I think everything's tastefully done, and it's not like I don't know, just what's the term like when people are like it's ham-fisted. It's not like super in your face and like this is how you should think. You know what I mean? Like I think the writing's solid, the acting's solid, and I'm really excited to see what's in store for us, my man.
Yeah. I think definitely this season has flowed really well,
Yes. Yes.
and especially I do enjoy that it's handling like such heavy topics like this episode, as well as it is, and tying them in really well to the overall plot.
And I think that's how the medium of like the superhero genre should function. Like there's nothing wrong with these heightened abilities and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just a really dramatic and magnified expression of the human experience. And it's like you said, the show is dealing with heavy topics and real world issues, dying small towns, drug problems, drinking problems, all that kind of stuff, people who have miscarriages. Like it's all really tastefully done, and it's not something you expect from I don't know, like I don't want to say daytime television because it's not really that, but like it's just not the Flash. You know what I mean? Like well, it's oh yeah. It's not afraid to go there. So yeah, I really appreciate it about this show, and like I said, I'm really excited to see what's next. All right, let's get into Loki episode 3. So episode 3, Lamentus, doesn't exactly pick up right where things left off in episode 2. Instead, we pick up in this little fabricated flashback of source between, we'll call her Sylvie, as we learn later in the episode, and Hunter C20. And while they're really physically in that little futuristic, what was it, Rocksmart, that little Walmart knockoff, they're really there, but we're getting this gentle interrogation as on details as to who protects the timekeepers and where they can be found. And as Sylvie's working on getting the information, sometimes I forget her name. I guess Hunter C20, who has like a somewhat stronger mind, starts to kind of like snap out of it, and so she has to kind of like Sylvie has to like skip time and bring her back and calm her down so she can coax that information out of her. I thought it was a really interesting way to look into how exactly she does what she does. Her little, I guess, mind enchantment or whatever. So back in the present, Loki's in tow behind Sylvie as she's trying to basically raid and take down the TVA, right? Part of the way through it, they get stopped by some guards, and Loki ends up like getting into a scuffle with her herself. And as they're fighting, they get teleported into, I guess, another planet, right? Is it Lamentus? Lamentus, exactly. And it's like one of the worst apocalyptic events. Like no one's surviving it. Like that's pretty much what it is. And the little batteries to the teleporter die. They need to find a way to recharge it. Before any of that can happen, asteroids are falling on them. They have to run. They have to flee. They end up going into some sort of, I don't know, like hut, some excavation site hut, some construction site hut, and they bicker at each other. There's some weird tension for a second there. Did you feel that? There was some weird, like they were gonna kiss, they're not gonna kiss.
Well, I kind of saw it as her trying to enchant, like
Ah,
purely just trying to enchant her.
okay, cool. That makes way more sense. Like, yeah, using it to her advantage, like pretending to be one way to get another thing. That's very Loki of her. So that makes sense. And then that briefly, like that immediately goes away, and they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do, and basically they come to the agreement, the understanding that they need each other, because Loki like does some sort of disappear magic and like hides it on his body. And it's like
Yeah, I liked how he kept like doing the hand gestures and popping out and popping back in the knives.
like the daggers.
It
Yeah,
just like kept happening.
dude,
He was like on ready, and then he was like relaxed and like going about the conversation. And then,
yeah, I love that. So shortly after that, let's see, they call that truce, like we said, and they decide they need to find a power source so they can get out of Dodge. This leads to an awkward encounter with that one woman left behind in an abandoned settlement. I got very I got what was it? I got like Mandalorian vibes, like on this like old. It felt a lot like that, and he she Sylvia knocks and then basically gets blasted like I don't know 30 feet back, and then Loki finds like an old picture and he pretends to be her old dead husband, and like she was like he was never that nice to me and shoots him too.
yeah.
And so
I liked how they both failed at their attempt.
yeah.
Like whatever.
To swindle that woman. Yeah. I thought, but it was cool seeing the different little styles, and then they both failed, like you said.
Yeah.
But they still end up getting the information they need because I mean, like the lady thinks, oh, what the hell, we're all dead anyway. So they end up finding out that they have to go get on a train that will take them to an arc or the arc, whatever. The last chance at evacuating Lamentus 1 before it collides with a moon or a planet. I forget what it was. One or the other. Is Lamentus the moon or the planet?
I think Lamentus is a planet.
And then the moon is coming, crashing into them. That's right. And so Loki comes up with a plan to get them on board the train. So as opposed to like going and murdering everybody, Loki's like, no, we're going to do things my way. So he impersonates a guard, and with some help from Sylvie's possession trick, they squeeze their way on board into a comfy carriage for the rich. Once on board, they end up drifting in surprisingly personal conversations about their respective mothers. Loki, he talks about their magical abilities and like how was it her name Freya? Freya. How Freya, his mom, basically taught him how to do magic, and taught him everything he knew. And she reveals how she's like self-made. Like she taught herself everything. I don't know how much of that is true or how much she's hiding or lying to Loki.
Well, wasn't it revealed that she was always being hunted by the timekeepers or something?
Something similar to that, because she said she didn't know her mom.
Right. So she's
always been hunted. Like
I guess.
She's super vague. She's very vague, and so anyway, they have their respective differences on the nature of love and all kinds of stuff, and it's a nice little look into their psyches, so to speak. And then she asks, if he has any significant others waiting for him, a princess or a prince. He says a bit of both, and so yeah, they are like LGBTQ characters. But what was cool is like in real life, Loki's also been like in the lore, yeah. Well, not only in the comics, but in like actual mythology, he's actually like he's even been a horse, and like had sex with another horse, and then there was a six-legged horse, and then Odin rode that horse. Yeah, Loki gets around. Yeah, he doesn't care. Look it up. It's a real thing.
Wasn't he a frog at some point?
Yeah, and then a snake too when he bit Thor. But I mean, I guess that's in the MCU. Yeah, Loki turns into everything, man. Anyway, the two decide to get some rest, even though she says she's not gonna rest when she's on a train with him. Sylvie puts her head down for a nap, and then Loki unleashes his inner Thor and like parties, getting drunk, slamming that down. Another one.
Those inherent like Asgardian
like tendencies, right? Yeah, I really like how that's like almost a family thing or the Asgardian thing at the very least.
Yeah.
So that was a nice little callback. Man, yeah, is there anything freaking Tom Hiddleston can't do? He sings in all these languages. He sang a beautiful. He really is. He sung the song. He's making fireworks out of his hands. That guy can do it all. Anyway, the party gets interrupted. One of the passengers quite rightly notices something off with the intoxicated and guard uniformless Loki, because he totally he gets out of his own disguise, and I'm like, why would you? I mean, I understand you're drunk. He was, yeah. He let down his guard. And so of course guards arrive asking for his tickets, and Loki's like and then ends up like busting out of the window, and Sylvie dies after him, but not before that fight. Didn't they get into a pretty awesome fight before that? Yeah, there was all kinds of amazing choreography, glasses clashing, heads smashing into bars. It was beautiful. And then the tumble ends up leaving the TemPad broken beyond repair, making the situation even worse. And as we'll talk about later, this episode just goes from worse to worse to worse to worse to worse. Like, and by the end of it, they really leave you thinking, okay, these people are gonna die. So I'm really interested to see how it picks up in episode 4, because obviously someone's gonna intervene. My bet is that it's Mobius or something. What do you think? Yeah. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but like, there's no way there's 3 episodes left. You know what I mean?
Oh, you think they're gonna add?
No. I'm saying it's obvious. I'm saying it's obvious that they're not gonna die, but like that's they spend the whole episode trying to push you towards that thought, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, okay. I didn't really see it as that.
Really?
It was just like I just all the way through. So, like they're gonna survive, but I just want to see.
No, of course. No, and that's what I assumed as well. No, what I'm trying to say is from a story point, and I understand they use this as a for the characters to make them think, okay, we might really die, and so like that would explain why they kind of opened up to each other a little bit, and why Loki got so drunk and doesn't care, because if he is gonna die, he's gonna have a hell of a fun time before he goes out, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying, like, okay, maybe not the audience, but the characters at the very least are led to believe they're gonna actually die there. You know what I mean?
Okay. I just saw it as them like having to work together and then being them being the same, essentially the same person.
The same person, but with different backgrounds. I mean, yeah, it definitely does a lot to build their relationship towards each other. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. I am. I just thought that was interesting that like we see all kinds of cool abilities. I mean, by the end, like after they get out, they end up finding the Ark in that town, and they're trying to get on it. They can't get on it. The guards won't let them on it, and things get worse. The moon starts crashing into it. We see the Ark get destroyed by the moon. And they're like, we got to dip. And so they're running through this cool, like futuristic looking city, all kinds of neon and whatnot. And yeah, the tower falls on Loki, and he like uses his like, what is that? Like, what? Since when did he have the Force? Like,
I believe they did use that on smaller
things.
The previous episodes.
Like what?
Like didn't he pull like a book or something in the store to hit one of the guards?
That's true. He did do that. That's true. But I'm saying pre the show Loki. When does he use the Force? Is that a new power, or am I tripping?
Well,
or does it go hand in hand? Of course.
I want to say he has used something to that effect.
That's crazy.
I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. But anyway, I just thought that was cool. I just didn't know why it took so long to see those powers. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it works if did he ever do it with a scepter, or did he ever like? Because if you think about
it, he has like what is like made it appear.
Okay, from nothing or yeah, because he can hide things on him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll see if they do more of that. I think it's cool, but I didn't realize he had that ability. But again, like we said earlier, the only glimmer of hope in this entire episode is that there's more episodes. Because from the character's point of view, they're literally about to die right there. Like they've tried everything. They've exhausted every resource. They couldn't get that tempad charged. It broke after that. They get kicked off the train, and literally their last little hope just got crushed in front of them. So they have to get divine intervention from like the TVA. There's really no other way they get saved. I wonder how they find them amidst all the chaos, because while they're doing all of that, the TVA and all of its agents, except maybe Mobius, who's probably looking for Loki, they're all busy stopping like all these branch timelines from redlining, like everyone on the Force basically. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how all that fallout happens at the beginning of episode 4. So, but yeah, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how they resolve it.
Of course. Do you think are you still firmly? I mean, we haven't seen much to think otherwise, but do you still believe that the TVA is going to end up being the bad guy at the end of the day? I mean, because they hinted at it with the fact that people are, like in this episode, people are not created by the timekeepers. They're actually people. Yeah, they're variants.
They were pulled from the timelines.
Exactly.
Which makes sense. Maybe they're not entirely villains. Maybe it's like just their certain point of view, sort of thing. But I do think that they still are gonna like crash.
Yeah,
they're not gonna be functioning after this.
Are you telling me that brainwashing and slave labor is unethical, Big A? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
okay, so they might need some reform. All right, I guess I can get behind that. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it picks up at 2 a.m. or tomorrow, whenever I decide to watch it. Anyway, that's our podcast for today. Thanks for tuning in. And for Media Munchers, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Adrian.
And we'll see you next time.